For the bottom line on another election day, let's bring in Chief Washington Correspondent and host of This Week, George Stephanopoulos.
Hey,
Good
Robin.
to see you, George. President Obama, we saw him here in New Jersey on Sunday, and we saw in Jake's piece making direct pleas to voters. I mean, the White House putting a lot of energy into this race.
Boy, they sure are, Robin. President Obama's gone back 3 times for Governor Poison over the last several months, and they want to do it to avoid that sweep that Jake was just talking about. New Jersey is their best chance for a win tomorrow night. It is a solid Democratic state. Even though the economy is in trouble there, the president is still personally pretty popular, and they want to avoid the sweep at all costs because they're afraid that will be seen as a verdict on the president's first year and could affect this debate over health care in the Congress.
Right. Tight in New Jersey, but not the case in Virginia with the governor's race.
Not at all. The Republican Bob McDonnell is just swamping the Democrat Creigh Deeds right now. Now, a few things are going on there. First of all, history. You know, Virginia always has a gubernatorial election 1 year after a presidential race, and going back all the way to 1977, the out party has always won. And McDonnell has also run a much better campaign than the Democrat Creigh Deeds. The White House has been complaining about Deeds' campaign, but you can't underestimate the national implications here either. Independents voted heavily for President Obama in Virginia last year. They seem to be going for the Republican candidate this time, and especially the president's health care plan, according to the latest polling in Virginia, is pretty unpopular right now.
Let's talk about this other race that Jake brought up in his piece. Upstate New York, an open congressional seat. Up until this weekend, it was a 3-way race. Then the Republican drops out, throws her support behind the Democrat instead of the conservative opponent. Give us the behind the scenes. What's going on here?
Well, the White House was pushing very, very hard for this Republican candidate, Dede Scosafava, to back the Democrat after she dropped out of the race. Now, it still might not be enough. There's a lot of anger up in that district. That district has been a Republican congressional district since about the Civil War. But what's most interesting here is this civil war inside the Republican Party. You saw this conservative candidate just come in and swamp the Republican who was pro-choice, pro-gay rights. And what the White House is trying to do, even if they lose here, is fan the flames of this civil war. I asked the White House counselor Valerie Jarrett yesterday what she thought this forcing out of the Republican candidate said about where the Republican Party is right now. Take a look.
Well, I think it's becoming more and more extreme and more marginalized. Look at the number of people who actually say that they're registered, consider themselves a Republican. And if that's the direction they want to go, fine.
And you are likely to see the same dynamic play out in other Republican primaries for Senate and governor's races across the country right now.
But what are Republicans saying about this? We hear what Valerie Jarrett, what she feels about this race in upstate New York, but what are Republicans saying?
Well, some, like majority Republican leader John Boehner in the House, are saying it's now time for the Republicans to close ranks. But they are worried about this split between those who are calling for a big tent Republican Party like Newt Gingrich and the conservative activists motivated by a lot of anti-government anger who say the party hasn't been pure enough so far. What Newt Gingrich told the New York Times over the weekend is, though, if the Republican Party can't find a way to heal this divide, they will make Nancy Pelosi Speaker for life and re-elect President Obama. This is something Republicans are talking about, trying to figure out, and trying to heal right now.
We'll see what happens on Tuesday. George, as always, thanks for the bottom line.